What's good, people? It's your boy Sky for the Politics Podcast here on the Got What You Need Network. Hope everybody's doing well and hope everybody's blessed. Today, I want to discuss a few things. We're going to talk about the FIFA World Cup. Seems to be a lot of issues in regards um, to how fans are going to get to and from the games, high ticket prices, low hotel reservations, bunch of stuff. So we'll get into that. LIV Golf at one time seemed to be a hostile takeover of the PGA Tour, but it now seems to be going quietly into the night, and we'll get into a few behind the scene reasons why. Lastly, and we'll start with this, is MAGA versus the Pope. So, the Pope came out recently multiple times just speaking on the need for peace, um, the need for diplomacy, and the need for the violence to cease in the Middle East. He's been consistent with that, and he's been a little critical of the administration, but they do seem to have this bloodlust for war. You would think that president, his staff, cabinet, supporters would, brush it off. It's the Pope. He's supposed to be preaching about peace. Like, what else is he supposed to be talking about? All right. Nope. Instead, they go on the attack. Um, they summon, I guess, the American representative for the Catholic Church for the Vatican to the White House, and he was all but threatened, basically saying either either get on board or deal with no, America can do what it wants to do internationally, and you need to get on board with that. And that was said to a representative of the Catholic Church and a representative of the Pope, basically a threat. And politician after politician have doubled down and tripled down on this sentiment, and I just don't understand why. Um, I get it that we're in a time where either you agree with everything the administration does, or you have, Trump derangement syndrome, or, something else is wrong with you. But I thought they were lines. Like, you didn't think like the Pope had to fall in line with the nonsense. Like, you thought like he would at least be exempt to be able to express how he feels about things. It's the Pope, right? But no, like you're either MAGA or you're a problem, and I don't care who you are. We will have our cronies and our ecosystem, in our ecosystem. No, excuse me, I was right before. In our ecosystem, attack you, and it is what it is. Now, you would think that an administration that claims to be so God fearing, would never, ever misinterpret the Bible, mess up a Bible quote, or anything. And you'd be wrong. So, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, Mr. Anti DEI, couldn't even recognize that his staff was literally setting him up. And I don't care what anybody says, that man doesn't write his own speeches. Um, they basically gave him the the Samuel L. Jackson version of Ezekiel 25:17 from the movie Pulp Fiction. This man got up at a church service at the Pentagon and started with, and you can read along with me, and led a prayer saying, though that version of that Bible passage, which is it's not even similar, as if it was like as if he was reading from the Bible. Somebody's listening is like, oh boy, here we go. No, go look it up yourself. Everyone is beating him up about it. But this is a person that's constantly ignoring, black officers and not saluting them and not shaking their hands and things like that. And besides, like the horrible way he's handled the war, the lies he said in regards to casualties, in regards to what the mission was, the fake down pilot, and I can go on and on and on. He never has an explanation other than the media is against him and Trump and are reporting things wrong. And once again, I just think that is so dangerous that the media is being threatened for reporting the truth. They are being threatened. Like, I don't care what the truth is. You need to put a spin on it that makes the United States and Donald Trump look good, or we're going to have a problem. And I think that's something that people need to be very alarmed about and very concerned. Now, some light at the end of the tunnel is recently some of the most critical reporting has come out from CBS, and I thought that once Barry Weiss had taken over, that those type of things would go away. But it at least seems to be some people that still have the courage to report things factually and I guess don't really care about the consequences. And salute to those that are. Salute to those who are asking the tough questions and basically being slandered and insulted. Like I salute you because I know your work inbox is going to be filled with all types of threats, not only coming from MAGA, but coming from different political PACs and different things like that. And they play dirty. Like they don't just threaten the person, they threaten their families, they threaten their children at school. And they're really playing dirty out here. So for those that have the courage to continue to do their job in the way they do it, I salute you. But I won't come down too hard on those who don't. It's wicked out there now, man, and I'm not excusing them either, but it's just hard. I've just heard firsthand, you know, staffers talking about the type of calls that they're receiving, in their, offices, in regards to threats to, the person they work for, and like it's stuff out of the movies. So we'll move on. So FIFA, the World Cup is coming to North America because I believe there are games in Mexico and Canada as well. So I won't call this the U.S. World Cup. I'll call this the North American World Cup. Now, there have been reports that ticket sales are down. There are tickets that are as high as $10,000. I know at MetLife Stadium, they aren't even allowing um, general parking. You can only park, you can only take advantage of the VIP parking option and it's $200. All right. There's also many verified reports. I went and looked myself. Um, the hotels in the area are being forced to drop the prices 30, 40% because reservations are way, way down from where they expected them to be at this time, so close to the game. Um, Ticket sales are down because if people aren't renting rooms, then they're damn sure not buying tickets. But they're just saying that the prices are just not attainable for the average soccer fan to attend. Um, but there's also some controversy in regards to FIFA versus some of the host cities, and we'll start with the New Jersey, New York option, which is so corny. Hey guys, everybody that's listening, the World Cup is being played in New Jersey. Yeah, if you look hard enough, you can see the Manhattan backdrop and skyline in the backdrop. But the game is being played in New Jersey. It's not walking distance to New York, and even driving, it's about a half an hour, 45 minutes if you're lucky. Okay? Okay. That being said, um, Governor of New Jersey has decided that she's not going to allow the tax, the cost of transporting the fans, from Penn Station in New York to MetLife and Secaucus, um, or East Rutherford, they are all the same damn thing, um, was going to fall on New Jersey taxpayers. So for those special trains that will only be filled with people going to the game, those tickets are $100, and everybody's crying foul, and everybody's pointing to it's only a $12.90 ticket. It's now being uh, hiked up to $100. That's price gouging. And what the governor has said is that no, FIFA hasn't donated one dime, and they're set to make $77 billion off of this with a B, and haven't contributed one dime in regards to transporting the fans to and from the game. They closed the parking lot because they don't want tailgating, and then they're charging $200 for people that insist on parking. And that's pretty much celebrities that won't care about paying the $200 that don't want to be on a crowded, stuffy train with a bunch of people, and they got to have security and all that type of stuff. So we definitely understand that. Um, what I don't get is the pushback from people outside the area who's never been here, who doesn't understand how we travel in this area. And to think that an event is going to be able to basically shut down all travel for anybody not going to the game for 4 hours each day there's a game, just for people visiting here or working at the games or whatever to get there, and then think that um, they weren't going to have to pick up the gap in the cost or for the area, and just think that they were going to come in, have their game, and then leave the New Jersey taxpayers with the burden is just insane. I I question any non-European immigrant traveling here for the games anyway. Um, I just feel like the United States has shown that they have that they definitely discriminate against black and brown immigrants and immigrants from black and brown countries. And I just feel like anybody that fits that description that are at any of the games are just subject to being harassed, possibly arrested. And the thing is that most people aren't coming here to stay. They're just coming here to have fun and enjoy the World Cup, and they were gonna go back to their own countries anyway. But because we have this hatred for black and brown immigrants, ICE is gonna be roaming around all the sites and is going to be harassing and making sure that these immigrants know that they are not welcome here. And to me, just knowing and seeing how America is acting right now, the powers that be in America is acting right now, I don't know. I just think it's very, very dangerous for um, people from certain countries to take the chance on traveling here. So, um, I'll keep everybody updated on what's going to be going on. Just follow my Facebook fan page, Politrick, or just follow me, on Facebook. I'll post a lot of stuff on there as well as Instagram. And I'm starting to post a little bit more on Threads as well, man. So if you want to just keep up, 'cause I know I don't always record on schedule or whatever, but I do try to stay active on my page in regards to like what's presently going on or something like big has happened or whatever. I like to go and search around different sites and sources to try to get you the most factual version of those events that I was speaking on. All right, we're gonna finish off with Live Golf. So Live Golf was basically this hostile takeover of the PGA Tour. I don't know, maybe back in 2010, maybe a little after that. And they were just throwing so much money around that so many people from the PGA Tour defected. I'm talking like big names like Phil Mickelson. And they took big chunks of money to play on this live tour. And it was doing decent. Didn't really secure like major TV deals. Like he had like something on like the CW app and different stuff like that. And most of their deals were with um, TV international television companies and things like that. I know it's a global world or whatever, but you know what I'm getting at. They couldn't break in and get any type of real traction on any um, U.S. carrier. That being said, they were still competing, making money. I won't say making money, but the golfers were getting paid and things were just kind of moving along. Then in June, the United States and that other place decided that they would attack Iran and then attack them again. And with all the unrest going on in regards to those two attacks, and then Iran, subsequently firing back and basically shutting down the entire UAE, um, and all types of or any type of tourism in that area, it's basically cut off not only the tourism money, but a lot of the oil money that was going out. Now, I know that there's still some oil tankers that are transversing the Strait of Hormuz, but not at the rate that it was. And because of that, the Saudis can't sell as much oil as they can. The money isn't coming in, as fast and as furious as it was. And now, they're deciding that in between now and the next 6 months, that Live Golf will be no more. Um, to me, it's shocking because even like the Saudis were never really making money off of any type of move that they were making. These were just to be down, to be involved, and to show that like we can come in and make our mark in any type of field because we just we have more money than you, and we make money faster than you, and you won't be able to outspend us. And that was basically like their thing. And right now, because of the spigot being cut off in the Middle East, mainly the Persian Gulf, they're having to pull back, um, starting with the LIV Golf Tour. And what concerns me is what happens to those golfers who didn't keep a good relationship with with the PGA, because there was one big name that came back um, to the PGA, and he was pretty much received with open arms. Um, Let me look this guy up, 'cause I don't want to just say one golfer. Um, okay, Brooks Koepka and Patrick Reed are two of the bigger names that return got to return to the PGA. Um, weren't really like, they basically weren't criticized, ridiculed. It was basically like, let's let bygones be bygones. Um, and, you know, come on back or whatever. And this was done prior to me learning that, um, LIV Golf was folding. So I don't know if they saw the writing on the wall or they just saw that like the competition just wasn't the same. Like you had some names there, but they knew they weren't playing, the best in the world. And for some people, that really means a lot. So, I don't know. It's very, very interesting that LIV Golf is going away. And it's almost shocking that it is when you think about billions, damn near trillions of dollars that they have access to. Um, some think it's more so a political thing than what I stated. So I'll put this out here, but I don't believe, for me, I don't believe it's the reason. But some are saying that because the relationship between um, the the Saudi prince and President Trump has soured, and President Trump is what he's big with golf courses, and especially those outside the country. And many are feeling like because their relationship is sour, that he's like, all right, well, I'll shut this whole live thing down and, let the chips fall where they may. We'll just go and throw our money somewhere else or whatever. So, I just want to make sure that I put that theory, um, out there. But once again, I'm thinking it's more along the lines of the faucet isn't running as freely as it used to be. So we don't want to continue to just burn money on this tour that's costing us money anyway. But many are saying that that's never bothered the Saudis in the past. And this is more about sticking it to Donald Trump and letting them know that, hey, we could all make money or we can make money and you could go back to whatever you were doing. So we'll see. But look, man, that's my time. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Um, appreciate the support. Make sure you spread the word, man, and make sure that all of you listening, man, please stay involved. I know things are very, very disheartening right now. Things are spooky out there, as my brother Sean would say. But we can't give up. because that's what they're expecting you to do, and that's what they want you to do. So let's keep fighting the good fight. Let's make sure we also support all the podcasts on this great network, the Black Male Podcast, Talking with E, Life and Love, as well as the Encourage and Inspire podcast. But this is Politrip with your boy Sky, and I am out. Peace.